So you haven't heard, the IAAF announced the starting fields for the Prefontaine Diamond League meet later in June. Prefontaine, it's a pretty big meet. There should be some big names, right? But what is most important is that in the 3,000 meters, it is announced that that'll be Caster Semenya's first race since the whole ruling came down, that she'll be racing in 3,000 meters. So, I want to lay this out to you. What should we expect now that Caster Semenya is apparently moving up for the 3,000 and 5,000 meters? Let's check it out. Behind me, I'll kind of move out of the way here in a second. I have some numbers written down. I also kind of analyze this a little bit further in a piece I'll link below, but I want to take a look at her PRs and what to expect from her PRs now, which honestly should not be what to expect going forward, because when you look at Caster Semenya, she is your prototypical 400, 800 meter runner, where she's going to run OK 15 because she has that strength, that speed from the 800 and the 4, but onto the 5K and onto the 3K, she's not as much built for those distances. Now, with a year or two of specific training, of high mileage, maybe that changes, but when you look at her build, when you look at her muscularity, she looks like a 400 and 800 meter runner. And I've seen a lot of 400, 800 meter runners in my day. Men, women, who try to make the jump up, who just, we all have a distance that's optimal for our body type and for the aerobic capacity we're built with. And let's break it down a little bit, shall we? Okay, so you should see some numbers on the board, and hopefully you can make those out okay, but in the kind of purple marker, I've written out her PRs, and I have put those down the line as far as what her PRs look like and what IAAF standard that equates to. Now, in the black, I have taken her 800 meter PR, and I have then quantified that out. So the numbers that are consistent with her 800 meter PR, what they would be down the line to 15 to 3,000 to 5K. And the blue down here, that's what I expect her to run. So let's talk about her PRs first. So she's run 49.62 and 154.25 in the 8. So the 400 is worth a 1221, the 800 is worth a 1262. So she's pretty good at those two distances. In fact, she is dominant in those two distances. Now, her 1500 meter at 359.92, IAAF standard, that's 1206. That's still pretty good. That's still pretty elite. It's not world championship level, but as we know, IAAF has determined that Caster Semenya's testosterone levels can't be used from the 400, 800, and 15. So these are essentially null and void at this point. Now, what that does leave is her 3,000 and her 5,000 meter PRs, which look like your typical 400, 800 meter runner that has moved up in distance. Your sprinter who decided to run cross country ran a 936.29, which is worth a 986, and a 1605, which is worth a 1,045. Not great. Especially compared to kind of her world class or world beater times going forward. Now, if we look at her 800 meter PR, if we were to assume that she had similar level of training for that 800 as far as ideal training for the 15, the 3K, and the 5K, that's how these things work. Ideal training, ideal mileage, ideal body type, that 800 meter PR equates to a 352.5 elite, a 813.58 world championship, and a 1407, again, world champion. Now, the 3,000 and the 5,000 are a little bit more stacked than the 800 and the 4 as far as that top end time goes. So her 813 is going to be compared to Helen O'Beary's 821 at this point. Her 1407 is compared to 1415. So not quite as much of a gap as what she's used to in the 8. But that being said, neither of her PR or her ideal numbers are what we should expect out of her. Now again, she's a 400, 800 meter runner, but she's extremely talented, and as we know, she has that testosterone advantage. So, when we look at 3,000 meters and 5,000 meters, if I kind of take a look at her 1,500, right? 352.5. Now, that's not best in the world numbers, but it's still pretty good. If I were to extrapolate that out, kind of take the difference between everything, I could see her running 840 in the 3K, and 1450 in the 5K. Again, those are not going to win you a Diamond League event. Those are not going to put you in front, but they're still going to get you to the dance. You'll still be a Diamond League competitor. You'll still be a top-end competitor, and especially as a South African athlete, she can still compete at her national championships, and she can still compete at the world championships. She's just not going to be, one, winning the prize money that she's used to, which that's going to hurt, and she's not going to be a world champion like she's used to. But the idea that she can still compete, we can talk about the IAAF ruling that they knew from 3,000 to 5,000, even though the data isn't there to say that testosterone gives you a boost, it does. But the fact is that Cassidy is going to be able to be competitive from the 400, the 200, the 400, the 5th, and the 800 and the 15. She's just not a 3,000 and 5,000 meter runner. But because she can't compete at those levels, they know that she's going to want to do that because she's not going to dope herself out of competition. And frankly, we should not be asking our athletes to do that. But because she can't compete, she will. So moving forward, it's going to be tough in the short term. We shouldn't expect those 840 right away. I think the 3K in pre is going to be a little bit rough, and especially if we're expecting her to contend with the names that race at pre, she's not going to be there. But given a year's time, going to Tokyo, I think we can see that 840, and especially that 1450, and maybe even faster. But I look at Semenya's body type, and I just don't see her being able to be a quick 5,000 meter runner. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that she gets the best training in the world, and that her body adapts to it. And I hope that you look at this video and look at how stupid my two predictions are. But I've seen this before, and as a coach, it's kind of one of my jobs to predict these things, and it's kind of fun for me to predict time. So this is kind of what I'm looking at going forward. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments what you think she's going to run for the 3,000 meters. And let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. So anyway, that's it for the video today. Again, I'll link that piece down below if you want to see everything that went into my analysis of it. But in the meantime, work hard, be nice, happy running. We'll talk.